So did you guys know? I read this scientific study that there's an 100% correlation between being loud and being funny. Ah! Oh! Okay, no, pause it.
That was good. That was good.
No, I don't want to keep. Well, here my idea was that I do that, and then we pause the podcast and be like, no, we're not gonna use that.
Wait, you didn't actually want to use it?
I mean, we could put it at the end.
Well,
for us to listen to.
Okay.
Okay.
Or we could just keep it in there.
Yeah. Wait. Just
let it roll.
Just keep it going.
Yeah.
And just start over, and just if you do a
I
proper.
thought of this new idea for the podcast.
Welcome, by the way, to the.
No. This is part of it.
This is part of it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Excellent.
So this is part of the end of the podcast.
The listeners are very confused now.
Well, I was supposed to talk to you about this before the podcast started.
God, this is a mess.
Just roll with it.
All right, what's up, Bryce?
So
tell me what's on your mind.
The best podcasts have a host and a co-host, and then if they have a guest, then we have the guest. I'm thinking, since you're in the middle and you're the best speaker, you should be the host.
But okay, thank you.
To do like intros,
yes,
and then I will be the co-host.
I like that idea.
And then you are the one who introduce the guest.
I'll introduce. So you want me to introduce him?
What?
Should we leave all this in at the end?
No, I think we should leave it in the beginning. This should be the beginning of the podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have to compress that scream.
Oh yeah, it'll be good.
Oh boy.
All right, everybody. Well, hey there. Hey guys. Welcome back to the PSAP cast. Yeah, wave at the mic. They can see us. I'm Andrew.
I'm Bryce, your co-host.
And we are PSAP. That's the name of our band. And this is going great. And I'd like to introduce to you our first ever guest on the PSAP cast, Jeffrey Adami.
That was good.
Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome to the set. Isn't it impressive?
Yeah, we're at our college.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to tell them that.
We're not at our college.
We're in.
You don't have to tell them that either.
We're in Miami, Florida, surrounded by millions of dollars in cash, and exotic
crazy people,
pets.
Apparently, yeah.
And a SWAT team. And they're surrounding us.
They're security.
And this is our last day alive.
Yeah. So me and Bryce went and did something. It was pretty dumb. We took the one person who listens to our podcast and we invited him on. So now
we have an audience.
So now instead of me and Bryce talking to no one or to one person, me and Bryce and Jeff are talking to nobody. It's better than ever.
Isn't it great? You guys got your biggest fan, your only fan.
Do you guys want? I brought some.
Here's the thing, guys.
LaCroix.
Let's do some.
Yeah, I brought some LaCroix.
Let's do some ASMR. What's up?
Conversations are temporary, but podcasts
are forever. Oof. That was the sound of us cracking a cold one open with the guys.
Bryce, I'll drink to that.
Here it comes again. Oh. I didn't mean to grunt afterwards. That was involuntary. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody stopped listening by now.
This podcast is brought to you by LaCroix.
We're not paid or sponsored, obviously.
But it's brought to you by LaCroix.
But, as in, we brought ourselves this LaCroix.
A can of LaCroix brought this audio file to you. You didn't see him. He came in the night.
Yeah, there's this guy we know. He's named A Can of LaCroix, and he did the mixing on this.
He's
very strange
man. He's nice.
Yeah, anyway, let's get on track here.
Well, this is the truth.
Yeah.
This is the truth. This is God's honest truth right now. We have no idea what we're about to talk about. This is completely unplanned.
This is 100% improvised.
Jeff, our good friend Jeff, our classmate, our colleague, Jeff was like, I want to be on your podcast. And we were like, no. But then he convinced us.
Yeah.
No, just
Look
kidding.
at us now. We're talking a lot about a lot of important stuff.
Oh, yeah. This is groundbreaking.
I've never talked this much.
Yeah. Guys, I just play drums. I don't talk. I'm not good at this.
I've never seen a microphone in my face before.
Yeah.
Only Andrew can talk through mics.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Okay,
what a great start. Well, we should probably talk about something that's actually...
Okay, well, here's the start of the conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
Our album was released. Our last podcast was the day we released it, or the day after? Was that what it was?
It was like the day after.
But then we released it like a week later. Anyway, That was that podcast.
This is now.
This
is this podcast. We're whole new men.
No, that's a good idea. We can recap.
Well, it's like a recap. It's also like This is
Tell me.
This is a couple months after.
True. We should probably that's a good like preface.
Yeah.
Our album, Get Over Yourself, now available on all streaming platforms.
Mm-hmm. Just released.
No, what? That's the opposite of what you said. Came out like a month ago. A lot of you guys have listened to it. Well, I shouldn't say you guys. A lot of people have listened to it, and we've gotten a lot of great positive feedback, and we're very happy. We just want to say thanks.
Yeah.
That's you totally worked that.
And so.
Hey, well, no.
So that was last time.
I'll go on the record and say I loved it. When I remember listening to it, and I was noticing that like every song kind of felt like a different like subgenre of punk or like indie, and like I think that was like well done. Like I don't listen to that genre that much, but like I think you guys seem to like have like a good like catalog of like stuff like you're inspired by, and like that that shows on the album. I really enjoyed it. So.
Thank you.
I think a lot of it was it's our first like big project, and we have so many influences, and being our first album is like so much like self-expression is coming out, and we didn't really have like a good cohesion really, like as far as like our thoughts were going, you know what I mean? Like we didn't have one specific topic or anything. We just kind of it was like puke of our self-expression.
Exactly. It's like well, I was just thinking like we couldn't find like one box that all these thoughts would fit into, because like they always say your first album is your most like, I don't know who they are, but like reflective, because you have your whole life to write your first album basically. And a lot of times when you have to write a second album, like that's when you kind of flop. But
interesting.
Like these are stories from like points all throughout our lives. So part of the thing you were saying is that like different subgenres might come from the fact that it was hard to like take all these different points in our lives, you know, and try to put it in like one box of one genre or something. And also something that a lot of people might not know is that like all of these songs were written, like some of them a very long like part. This is so easy to say. Why am I saying it so terribly? Some of the songs were written way before some of the other songs. So like, I think the last song we wrote for the album from scratch was "Reach Me a Rose," and we wrote that like a month before we finished recording the album. But then one of the first songs we wrote for the album was "Breathing," which I wrote like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
So like, there's a huge span of stuff in there, and some of the songs like we only had sections of, and then like when we started recording the album, we had I think just different sections of "The Man Inside My House," at least like just written down, and then we didn't actually come together and put them together and then finish the entire song until like again a month before we finished recording the album, because that was the last one that we recorded.
So it kind of all
so
felt
like even
mismatched.
even within that song, there's like a little bit of diversion.
Yeah.
Which is why there's a weird like keyboard doom 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 doom, you know, the little groovy part in the middle of it.
Right.
Because there's kind of like all these different like things thrown together. So for better or for worse, we agree that it's a very like dissonant almost album, even within songs sometimes. But
for sure.
Yeah.
No, I like it, and like I'm not like when I listen to music, I'm not the type of person to like analyze the lyrics so much as that like I am to analyze like the instrumentation, the rhythm and stuff.
I'm
but
the
like,
same way, but Andrew's like the lyricist.
Yeah.
I feel like you analyze well all of it, but like I
definitely focus more on lyrics, just personally.
Yeah, because like when I
listen to music.
What was the name of the first song? "The Man Inside My House." What's it called?
That one's called "The Man Outside My Window."
The Man Outside. Oh my god.
The last song is called "The Man Inside My House."
I just proclaimed it as a different song, so you have to change.
Cool.
Change the info.
We'll get right on that.
Yeah. No, I was like, no, that like the lyrics shook me. I was like, geez, it's like all the imagery to like God. And,
Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that was really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool that you think that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Jeff.
Wasn't that good? See you guys. All right, bye, guys.
We just wanted them to come and compliment us. And get out of here.
Honestly, yeah.
Just kidding.
No.
Yeah, my brother showed the album to someone actually, and they were like, "Are your friends like okay?" They were like,
"Oh, right."
But I was like, "Well, that kind of comes back to what I was saying. Like, it's not like we've experienced all this like I guess, pain at one time in our lives. Like, this is all different, I guess, like, sections or different, like, vignettes almost, if that's the correct use of that word. Like, different snapshots of, like, different portions of our lives. So, yeah, you might listen to it and be like, oh, these guys are, like, really struggling. But it didn't happen all at once, you know. It's happened over
life is up and downs, and you seem to, like, capture a lot of the down
peaks
moments
and troughs.
Yeah. In hindsight, it's a lot different, too.
Totally.
I mean, looking back on all of it, it's definitely peaks and troughs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's how you see it.
Like a waveform.
Wow.
Literally peaks and troughs.
Wow. Our 0 viewers will know what that means.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I come in here to compliment you guys and roast you guys to the fact that no one listens to this.
All right, now you can get out of here.
All right, bye.
Well, like I said, the podcast is forever, so people can listen to this 10 years in the future.
Yeah, when we actually live in Miami and are actually surrounded by piles of cash.
Yeah.
I don't know why I hate Florida. I don't know why I chose Miami, but
yeah, that's where all the crazy. Dude, do you guys use Reddit?
Sometimes.
Okay,
I dabble.
There's a subreddit called Florida Man.
Oh, dude.
And it's it's just headlines starting with Florida Man does this.
Have you taken the Florida Man challenge?
Oh, mine. I've done that.
Do you know what it is?
You write
you Google your birthday.
Yeah,
and then Florida Man. We could. Do you want to all do it right now and then read our headlines?
We can try. I tried it with mine, and I couldn't get anything.
Sorry if you were talking about something else.
Mine was like serious and like terrible. It wasn't even funny.
Oh gosh.
It was like Florida Man executes like daughter or something.
Whoa,
like horrible.
Look it up.
Some of these things I don't even know if we should say online because
oh man.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Wait, here's a more appropriate one. Hold on, it's got to load. Florida man wearing bonnet dress steals baby formula.
Okay, that's good.
From the grocery store. He stole $450 worth of. How did we get from
formula?
How do we get from talking about an album to Florida Man?
Well, here's mine.
Okay.
There was 2 for mine. Believe it or not, this is the most. This is the cleanest one. The other one was very NSFW, but this one is very suitable for work. So if you're at work right now, no need to pause this.
Yeah, no.
Right, no need to skip ahead. This is suitable for work.
Yeah.
July 2nd, which is my birthday. Florida man sits on gun, shoots himself in penis.
That's very safe for work.
It's very anatomical.
I'm gonna warn my dad while he's at work. Don't.
You don't think it's suitable? Well, I said it's more suitable for work.
Okay, I don't even want to know.
I guess what I meant, the other one is not.
That's straight out of like 21 Jump Street.
Right. It's like if you work in a hospital or like any sort of medical field, that's just gonna be nothing. That's like just every day.
It's like, oh yeah.
Like, oh, listen to podcasts about getting shot in the genitals. Cool.
What's next?
Send me the link to that podcast so I can listen to it. But if you work in an office, maybe that wasn't suitable for work. I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe.
Is it just supposed to show up when you type it in?
Just the first article.
Like you can read
the first one.
The date.
You don't have to do the year.
If the date says you're
Florida Man, July 9.
Great. Now all our fans know our birthdays.
Oh,
that's way too much information we're giving the public.
Yeah, this one's March 14th.
Well, just read it because it came up in Google.
Wait, when's your birthday?
Well, it was like July 9th.
Oh.
It was posted March 14th. But it probably happened July 9th. Just read the headline. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
God, dude.
So there's this thing called the alphabet, and it has letters on it, and you read them.
This one's really dumb, but it's kind of funny dumb, you know?
Okay, that's
like it's so stupid.
Just like this podcast.
And pointless to
Go
say.
On us. It reminds me of something else.
It reminds me of
is happening right
called
now.
The PSAP cast.
Got him. It's getting hot in here.
South Florida man accused of failing to deliver trucks purchased from him.
Wait, read that again. Wait.
So someone.
Okay, slow down. Say that. Read that slow.
Did he buy the
South Florida man accused of failing to deliver trucks purchased from himself?
Wait, he bought the truck?
Yeah.
And
or the trucks were bought.
He bought the truck.
Or did he sell the truck?
And he had to deliver.
Did he sell the truck and then he never delivered his own truck?
Well.
Oh. Wait, what?
Read it again.
Well, the Florida Man Challenge, you can only read the headline, so I guess we're not allowed
South
to know.
Florida man accused of failing to deliver trucks purchased from him.
So he sold the truck.
Yeah.
Trucks. Plural.
Couldn't.
And then he failed to deliver them.
Shame on him.
I literally was like, in my head, I was like, he bought the trucks. And then he had to deliver it to somewhere. But then people were like, where are you going to deliver
I'm just curious as to why that's newsworthy.
I don't know.
That happens every day on like Facebook Marketplace or like Craigslist, you know?
BuzzFeed.
It's like, oh, can I buy this? Yeah, sure. Where do you want to meet? No response. And maybe that's just me. That happens to me a lot, though.
Dude, July 11th is a good one.
Buy trucks.
When I buy trucks from southern Florida, guys. What'd you say, Bryce?
I wish mine was July 11th because it's really funny. Well, it's not that funny, but it's really funny.
Is it funnier than trucks not being delivered? Because that's pretty much the peak of comedy.
You know, yeah.
I
saw Gabriel Iglesias, and his final joke was about a man not delivering trucks.
Not delivering trucks purchased from him.
Let me tell you, best stand-up show
dude,
ever.
every comedian has the joke about
July
trucks
11th,
not being delivered.
Florida man with no arms charged with stabbing man with scissors.
Wait.
How did he do it?
Oh, wait.
He just carried him.
Hold on.
The
other guy had scissors, and the guy with no arms stabbed him? Because it said he stabbed a man with scissors. Or did he use the scissors to stab a man?
Guys, you know how I was talking about having a stroke earlier? I think I'm having it again.
Okay, let's get to the bottom of how you pronounce LaCroix.
Oh, you were saying Horcrux.
Oh, that comes from Bryce.
No, it's because I was like, why don't we pronounce it LaCroix?
And then he was like, I'm tired of drinking these Horcruxes.
Well, I heard it's like La Croix.
LaCroix.
I mean,
La Cool. Guys, you're only La Cool if you drink La Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to destroy the Horcrux to defeat Voldemort, but it's so tasty.
It's so tasty.
It's so tasty.
tasty. We can just...
But the essence of lime gets me every time.
Harry Potter was pissed. Let me tell you.
Yeah, Harry. He was not happy. Harry was not happy. This is a disaster.
I fear that we're gonna say something super offensive.
Dude, honestly.
I mean, you guys could always say...
I said I hate Florida. Is that too offensive?
I mean, it's 2019. Everybody... You can't say
We're all on
anything.
the same page.
I don't hate you if you're from Florida. I just don't want to live in Florida.
Yeah.
But I do hate you if you have no arms and no legs and you stab a man with scissors.
I think
I hate you
unless you stab a man that has scissors, then that's okay because he was armed.
If you stab a man that's trying to kill you, that makes sense though. Maybe the other guy was trying to kill him.
Right.
Let's hope
Because if the other guy had the scissors, he just stabbed a man.
I would hate you if you had no arms in general.
And there it is. That's the thing.
All right, and cut.
Oh man. Wow. Well, let's talk about something that's not Florida, man.
Let's
talk about something musical. This is kind of a musical podcast.
I was about to say something so broad. I was about to be like, "What do you think of the music industry?" But there's a million things you could say about that.
Yeah, the industry.
What do you think
it's
about the industry,
well,
it's
here.
toxic.
Let me ask this: what do you guys want to do once you graduate?
What do we want to do?
Yeah, what would be your dream?
My dream,
like your passion thing.
A dream is
Miami, Florida. Just kidding.
Our band kicks off and we're able to sustain ourselves.
My dream
by touring
is to tour at least the continental United States, if not the world, and have like enough of a fan base that they come out to our shows and that we can like make a reasonable living, be comfortable off of it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be very, very satisfied.
I don't want to be like.
You wouldn't.
Obviously, it's not gonna happen anyway. But I'm just saying, like,
I
wouldn't want to be number one and be like complete just drowning in money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
I want to have a loyal, small fan base. If I wasn't a band, you know,
just enough to show up. Like I was saying, enough to appreciate like our music and enough people
and like major cities.
To like show up and be like. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like we said before, like we are just doing this, you know, we're not doing this necessarily for other people, but we do need to make a living, and like we would love to make a living doing this. You know, that would be the ultimate dream. And we hope that people connect with our music to the point where they want to help us be sustained off of our music so we can make more music.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's hope that happens. Mm-hmm. Do you guys have like a fallback in case that doesn't happen, or just good seeing where life takes us?
The whole point in getting like the whole degree in audio technology, which by the way we are doing that.
Yeah, we're in college.
I don't know if you are aware of that. We're in college. Is like to have at least something practical that like that you can always fall back on, you know, or that at least get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Whether it's like at a radio station or at a studio or our own music venue. Yeah. That was the idea. Was that like not necessarily like it could be a fallback, but also like in the the period between graduation and like quote unquote making it or whatever. Like if there's a period where we're trying to make money without being popular enough to tour. Yeah. That would be the goal in that period.
For sure.
Yeah.
For me, well, right now, like, I'm pursuing, like, doing music full-time as well. I want to be, like, a touring or session drummer. And, like, I'm trying to do every step necessary. Like, I've got a website, I've got business cards, I'm like trying to do make as many connections as possible. Like I went to the NAMM trip and like tried to do as much network as I can.
Feel free to plug your website.
Dude, okay. So,
what's
hey,
that web address, bro?
Y'all 3 people listening out there need a drummer in Seattle at an affordable price. Hop on to just feels so weird. Yeah, so I'm Jeffrey Adami. I've got a website, Jeffrey Adami Drums, JEFFREY ADAMI Drums. And
how do you spell drums? Some of our listeners
TRUMPET. Drums.
Some of our listeners are in preschool. They don't know how to spell yet.
Yeah. our third grade.
Audience. Yeah, we got a really young audience.
I wonder why. Maybe it's the content that we put out.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to do full-time touring and session work or whatever I can get work. I might even like move to LA when I graduate. I'm just trying to make
That's the way to do it. Honestly,
we'll see what happens.
Just like fully immerse yourself.
Yeah,
it's the best way to do it.
I mean, I don't know how spiritual you guys get on the show or talk about spiritual stuff like that. Because like before. When I was in high school, when I was about to come to college, I wanted to do psychology. I wanted to be a counselor for people with depression, and cause I love to help out people and stuff like that. But I took my first gen psych class here, and I was like, nope. I just
nope.
Just the material's interesting, but it's just way too much to understand or comprehend. But I still have a love for it, especially abnormal psychology, mental disorders and stuff like that. Yeah. But I noticed that in my life, whenever I try to go one way with my life, God always brings me back to music. So I've kind of embraced that in this past few years and be well, if you want me to do music, I'm going all out. So I'm just taking every step necessary. That's why I've got the website and all the stuff like that, and I'm just trying to plug myself as much as I can on social media. So
yeah,
that's cool, man.
Because you played drums for a really long time, right?
Yeah, 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
So even when you first started, it wasn't necessarily your goal to be a musician.
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a rock and roll drummer, and this is elementary school.
Right.
You don't really know where your life priorities are at.
Oh, yeah,
you're just dreaming. You're going out there, but I was like, oh man, I want to be a rock and roll drummer, and that kind of shifted over the years. But the more and more I've had these cool opportunities, I've kind of noticed how my dreams have slowly been able to shift into reality.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
So with cool stuff going on, and I can't really say to the public what stuff is going on in the future, but we'll see what happens. I'm the type of person to worry about the future, and if I don't have a plan. What's gonna happen?
Totally.
I just need something concrete. But I think God's been teaching me that hey, I'm faithful. You just gotta trust me, and everything will be smooth. So I'm just leaning into that. So.
Yeah, totally.
Cool,
so,
man.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll see what happens.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we fully support you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
I think that's awesome. So
yeah.
So going off that, I have a question that we can maybe start to wrap things up with on this question.
Sure.
But so you mentioned having a fallback earlier, what our fallback was.
Yeah.
And also you're going to LA, and Bryce was saying immersing yourself in everything, right?
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? If you were to make the argument for not having a fallback, just totally committing to your dreams, which it doesn't necessarily have to be with music, with any dream. Some people would say you shouldn't have a fallback because in the back of your mind, you're always going to eventually revert to that fallback, and you're not gonna follow your dreams. So like a lot of people will say like, yeah, I had like $50 in my pocket, I had a guitar, I spent my last month $50 on a plane ticket, or however much plane tickets are, I don't know, and I went to LA, and like I literally just like there was no other option besides like following my dream. There was no fallback, there was nothing. Like, do you think that's stupid to do that, or do you think that that's good advice? Because if you have a fallback, like almost no matter what, you're gonna revert back to that, even if it's like subconsciously.
Like stupid to not have a
yeah.
fallback?
Like, do you think it's dumb to just say like?
Honestly, I think it's dumb to not have a fallback because you can't trust feelings as much as
no.
You know what I mean? Like, you could say in your head, I'm always gonna go back to music,
right?
But you really don't know for sure. And I at least for me, I can't really trust myself. If I have a feeling and an impulse, I could never do that.
Yeah.
I have to have something that's like a backup plan.
And it's none of us can tell the future.
Right, absolutely.
We don't know, like...
Yeah. No, I agree with you guys. I think, like, for every celebrity that says, oh, I followed my dream and there was no fallback.
Yeah.
Like,
they say that?
Well, yeah.
But that's like a 1 in a million chance.
Oh, yeah. For every one of those celebrities, there's like 50 freaking homeless people that are like, yeah, I spent my last
a great way to
$100. And now I'm like, I'm just like a homeless person who's pretty good at singing.
No, that's
you know
totally
what I mean?
Like, you can go on Instagram or wherever and you see like millions, you see like hundreds
yeah,
of
exactly.
celebrities, and like, how are they all so famous? But like,
I also kind of think that whole like mentality of I'm just gonna jump in and like I'm good enough to make it, like that's kind of a thing in the past, especially in the music industry, because there's just so much noise. Like, even if you are the greatest guitarist like literally on earth right now, there's a pretty big chance that you're never gonna cut through, you know, unless you have like the right production, unless you have like the right connections. Like, there's just so much noise that it almost doesn't matter how good you are and like how committed to your dream you are if you're not gonna, you know, go the right avenue, which is dumb. And it kind of sucks.
It really is all about connections.
Yeah, and
that's what I've learned.
And that's a tip for like if any of you guys are listening and like you want to make it in the music industry. It's not just about like your talent or just like your skill. Like you also have to be like really good at working with people and really humble.
Absolutely.
Have humility. Like like, okay, here's a situation. If you say you guys work at like an audio engineering place or like a studio or something like that, and you have two different people you could hire, would you want to hire the guy who's super talented but he's a jerk to work with, or the guy who can get the job done, he's all right and makes a few mistakes but he's super easy to work with?
Yeah,
the second one.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So just like, it's not like at the same time you guys are like working on your talents and being the best musician you can be, also like at the same time it's just as important to be the best person you can be, because you don't know how far that can take you.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't be afraid to have a fallback.
Exactly.
I think as long as you're aware that like as long as you're self-aware of what your actual priorities are, like it's okay to have a fallback if you are aware that, you know, your dream is your dream and you're going to do your best to follow your dream. But like your fallback isn't necessarily like a crutch. It's more of like an assurance, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to lean on this so that I don't have to do my dream. Like, still, you know, be aware that you should try to follow your dream, but it's never a bad option to have, like, you know, something in the background.
Yeah. It's called the side hustle.
The side hustle.
You just always got to be grinding on something.
True that.
So, yeah.
And that's what we learned today.
And that's what we learned today.
And reading Rainbow.
The
more you know.
Rainbow. LeVar Burton. Shout out LeVar Burton. This podcast brought to you by LeVar Burton.
This podcast no more brought to you by LaCroix.
And Squarespace. Because everything on the internet is brought to you by Squarespace.
Well, my website was made on Squarespace.
What?
So shout out to that.
This kind of is brought to you by Squarespace.
So, in a little...
And SeatGeek.
Oh, man.
And MacBook Pro.
Dude,
and
we're gonna get
Focusrite.
Sued for
and
sure,
that
dude.
backpack over there.
Oh, yeah. And...
We brought a lot of you... We brought a lot of things to you.
We brought a lot of you here.
We're rolling in the dough.
Especially our audience.
This is where we clip in like a live studio audience sound, like
Yeah!
Dude, we should get a soundboard for the podcast.
Should. That'd be so sick.
What if our dream? What if you guys realize that your dream isn't to like be successful, to be a good band. It's just like to have the most successful podcast.
Honestly, I'm fine with that.
Dude, that'd be sick.
I mean, I'm having fun right now. So.
Podcasts are fun.
Although I would not give you the soundboard or the sound thing.
Oh, I'd constantly.
Name a Jeff. Name a Jeff.
Someone's like pouring out their heart, like, yeah, and that's when I found out my mom had cancer.
Oh boy!
Now that's what I call epic.
We make our own sounds.
Okay, now this is epic.
We like voice record
that'd be like suck. He's so egotistical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well,
all right. Well, thanks, Jeff, for coming on our podcast.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say thanks.
Full circle.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This is wrapping up episode 3 of
Pluto's Still a Podcast.